Welcome to the Art of Likability, ranked one of the top podcasts in the world. In this podcast, you'll discover how to leverage likability to build stronger relationships, lead more efficiently, close more sales, and keep customers happy while increasing success in your professional and personal life. Let's jump in with your host, Arel Moody.
What's going on, Art of Likability family? Arel Moody here, your host of the Art of Likability podcast, where we teach you the strategies you need to be more successful in life by leveraging the it factor, charisma, relationships, having a better relationship with yourself, better relationship with others. And I want to give you one of my super secret ninja strategies, okay? This is a strategy that is going to absolutely change your life. Now, before I give you this strategy, if you like this strategy, if this supports you and helps you in your goals, please head over to iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, wherever you're listening to us, give a 5-star review. If you haven't subscribed yet, ding-a-ling-a-ling, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you get our episodes hot and fresh. You may have noticed, by the way, I went on a 2-week hiatus. Before I tell you about my strategies, I'm telling you about my hiatus. I was in Paris and London on vacation with my family, chilling, drinking cappuccinos, visiting monuments. So my bad for not doing the episodes, but honestly, the recharge and the vacation was absolutely fantastic. So it's good to be back. And I want to share with you one of the strategies that actually came up on that trip. So I actually was in London, Paris, and Miami. And when I was in Miami, I was at a speaking engagement and speaking to a really great group of rock star professionals. And there was something that I did during that event, because I was speaking to people who are really, really good at what they do. Very, very good business owners. And it made me start thinking about how simple what I'm about to share with you how simple it is, but how few people actually do it. If you really want to get good at what you do, I want you to find someone who is very successful at what they do and ask them about their strategies. I know that sounds so simple, doesn't it? It almost sounds like duh, but you know what? Have you done it? Keep it 100. Have you? It blows my mind how some of these things can be so obvious, but it's so rare. So, for example, I was speaking to a group of people who are the top performers of the top performers. Now, there are people who were in the room who were, even though they were a top performer, they separated themselves head and shoulders from the other top performers. So I asked them, the top 2 or 3 people, what do you think? Now, everyone in the room is excellent, right? But you are the best of the best. So you're the top 10% of the top 10%, right? So I simply asked, what is it that you do differently than the rest of them? Or what is it that you observe that is different about what you do versus what other people do? And I know that may sound like such a simplistic thing to do, but what's interesting is when I was talking to him, he gave me some very specific strategies. Now, you should have been in the room because those are good strategies. Maybe one day I'll share them with you. Right now, I'm keeping them on the inside because that's not what the point of this particular podcast is. The point of this podcast is I want you to ask yourself, at your job, who are the people that are the highest performers? In your industry, who are the people that are the highest performers? Who are the people that are doing it so well? And have you ever asked them what they do? It was actually interesting. My wife back in the day used to work in sales for a big corporate company and a Fortune 500 company. And she did sales. She was pretty good at it. But there was this guy who was really good at it. I mean, he crushed it. And one point I asked her, this was years ago, I was like, have you ever asked him what is he doing differently than everyone else? She was like, no. And by that time, she already decided she was going to leave the job, so she didn't care. But I thought it was fascinating because she was in the job for over a year. And she and her fellow colleagues never sat down to ask the top performer, like, what are you doing differently? So I would encourage you to look at your current network, and you may not be able to call up a complete stranger. So a lot of times people say, oh, Ro, how do I get a complete stranger to give me their secrets? Well, I don't know, you may not be able to. Or, you could pay for coaching. Like I coach a lot of speakers. So people who want to become professional speakers or get better at the art of speaking, I work with them individually, right? So if someone wants to get all of my knowledge, well, there's a system, there's a funnel for it. So, if you go to truespeakingsuccess.com, you can sign up for what I do on that side of the fence and get our emails and all that kind of fun stuff. And we're doing a startup boot camp, by the way. So if you want to look like you deserve to get paid high fees to speak, you got to look like it. So get your video, your website. So we're doing all that for you. So you can check out truespeakingsuccess.com/startup and you can see what we're doing with that. And if you have any questions, you could always reach out to us via email. Contact us at, our artoflikability.com website. Happy to help you with that. So in some people, you have to pay to play, like if they have a coaching program. Some people just don't have the time to talk to you if they don't know you. But I would tell you that there's people right now in your network who are performing at a higher level than you are in something you care about, and you've just not sat down to talk to them about it. So here's how it might look, right? Let's say you work in sales or you're a manager or whatever's your role. There's someone who's doing it better than you that's in your network. It's just true. Send them an email or a text message and say, hey, John, I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you. Let me know if you're available for lunch or if you have 10 minutes 15 minutes for us to talk via phone. Would love to just ask you a few questions. So that's what you say. You don't say you want mentorship. You don't say anything like that. You just say, hey, I got some questions I was hoping to ask you. I want your insights on. They're going to say typically, sure. And then they'll give you a time and a date or whatever it is, right? You get them on the phone or you meet them in person. If it's lunch, you buy lunch. That's how this works, okay? Don't be a jerk and make them pay for their lunch if they're giving you their secrets. And you ask them a simple question. And the questions might sound like this. I noticed that you're very good at what you do. And I admire that about you. And I'm just curious, in your opinion, as someone who is doing really well, when you look at someone like yourself and others who are doing well versus the people who are not, what do you think separates them? Then you shut up and let them answer, right? And they may have to sit down and reflect because maybe no one's ever asked them that question before. But if they sit down and think about it, they're going to have some answers. So they sit down and they reflect and say, yeah, what am I doing differently? What is different about it, right? So you sit down and you hear it. Other questions you ask them. What has been the most powerful lessons you've learned in the work that you do? Shut up and listen. Then ask them, what is it that you do, if you could be honest with yourself, that you think helps in getting the results you get? You shut up and listen. Then you say, if you could just kind of grab every other person in the industry and, shake them by the shoulders and say, I need you to get this simple idea because you're not getting it and it's hurting you. And this could change everything for you in the industry. If you could grab someone and shake them by the shoulders and get them to share with you this idea that they wish everyone else in the industry would get, what would it be? It's another great question to ask. Another great question to ask somebody is, if you were starting all over again, what's the first thing that you would do to start getting back into the place you are today? And then, these are general questions, right? And then you delve deeper and you find out more about what they do and you listen intently and ask questions. But these are examples of questions you can ask that will literally give you a lifetime of information in like 15 minutes. And be honest with yourself. Have you done this recently? Have you? And if you have, is there someone else you can do it with? And if you haven't, what's stopping you? My challenge for you for this week is to, one, identify someone who is a top performer in your field or something you aspire for. Two, reach out to them to see if you can set up a time to talk to them via phone or have lunch with them, or if they have an established coaching program, join the coaching program. Step 3 is sit down and ask them these questions. And then after you ask the questions, this is the key. This is the key that few people do. The questions and the answers aren't going to be what changed your life. As you know, we talk about implementation. I want you to ask yourself, what's the one thing you're going to do because of the conversation you had with this person? What are you going to do differently? And that is what's going to transform your life. So my challenge to you this week is find a top performer, reach out to them, ask them questions, listen, and then say, what are you going to do differently because of it? Okay? Simple, but super powerful. The rock stars, the people who really want to change their life, the people who really want to become more likable, they are going to do this. You are going to do this. But you got to take action, because information means nothing. Implementation means everything. So I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you have been subscribed and listening. If you haven't done so, please leave a 5-star review. And again, those of you who are interested in speaking, check out what we're doing at True Speaking Success, which is one of my businesses, which I love on the coaching side. If you are a professional and you need to get better at the art of speaking, I'd love to talk to you about it. Reach out to my team. We'd love to set up a time to talk to see if you're someone who can be part of our coaching program, because we're looking to impact people at a high level. And if you want to get to that weekend that we're doing in July in Tampa to get you set up, if you want to be a professional speaker, well, that's pretty cool. You go to truespeakingsuccess.com/startup and see what we're doing there. And if you go to artoflikability.com, you can get our emails. We send out emails once a week, and we hope that you like them. And, I hope that you really take action, because I can't stress enough that this world is a beautiful place. There's a lot of darkness in it, but there's so much beauty. There's so much knowledge and so much information. So I hope that you take action with this, because I really do believe it could unlock something for you that can open up an incredible amount of doors. So I'm out of here, y'all. Sending you a big old high five. You are awesome.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, The Art of Likability, and reach out with any questions you have. Until next time, remember, my friend, you are awesome.